Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com. Today we're going to talk about your music potential and why you need community. But before we get into that, just final announcement. We are wrapping up this entire month of me celebrating 10 years of the recordingrevolution.com. Hopefully you care. If you don't, I almost don't care because I'm doing it for myself. I've been doing this for 10 years. And so I've been taking the entire month to reflect on the last 10 years of content, the last 10 years of life as a home studio maker, what's changed, what hasn't. A lot of cool videos I've been doing, but also I've been celebrating by giving away a lot of stuff. Specifically, I'm letting you enter to win one of 10 $500 gift cards to spend at Sweetwater. And I'm giving away 2 free months to my exclusive private community, Recording Revolution VIP. All the details are in the description and the link below. So check them out if you want to win free stuff. There is still time. All right, let's jump into the content today. So I know that we like to make music alone, and that's a majority of us. You're probably watching this video alone. Maybe it's in your home studio that I call an audio cave, where you're alone and you're probably writing and recording and mixing and mastering and sharing your own music alone. And I'm not calling you out as that's a bad thing. That's what I do. Guess what? I'm alone talking to you while you're alone. We're very alone. And that's okay. There is a place for just working on your own music. You can write it yourself. You can record it yourself. You can mix it, master it, release it yourself, direct to fan. This is the best time to be a music creator because you can do so much of it on your own. You don't have to wait for permission, or you don't have to sift through gatekeepers or middlemen to be able to create and share and have that completion in the creation process. But hear me out. You need community for 3 reasons. And one of those is that when and if you do everything by yourself, you fool yourself into thinking that you're better than you are, or that your song is better than it is. And at the end of the day, you're here, I'm here because you want to get better, right? You want your music to sound better. Otherwise, why are you watching this channel? If you want it to sound better, you can't just look for tips and tricks, although there's plenty of those out there and I dish out a ton of them. You can't just upgrade your gear, although maybe that's what you need in order to get to a different sonic level, or you need more inputs or need more microphones. So at some point, to get better, you need someone else to critique what you're doing, whether it's in songwriting, recording, mixing. Look, it doesn't matter. The best songs are rarely written by one person. If you want to do some fun homework, go look up your favorite songs that you love in terms of songwriting and see who the songwriters were, not the artist, but the songwriters, because a lot of times they aren't the same, or the artist is one of the songwriters. But go take a look. You'll be surprised that a majority of modern music for the last 40 years or longer, these songs have been written by multiple people, 2 or more. And there's a reason why. We can have a good idea, but when someone else is in the room, they can listen to it and say, oh, I like that concept. But what if you said it this way? And you're like, oh, that's better. That's a great idea. Then we could do it this way. And there's this natural symbiotic relationship you're creating in community. So songwriting gets better when there's multiple writers. Recording and mixing 100% gets better when there's multiple people in the room, because we fool ourselves with our ears, right? We don't listen objectively. I don't know how many times I've shared this. This is what makes mixing so hard if you just want to pick one element of the production process. Our ears adapt to whatever we hear. Have you ever experienced a noise, a background noise in a room when you're at a coffee shop or somewhere else that you notice it's there, but then you focus on whatever it is you're doing? Maybe it's writing an email, maybe it's writing, reading a book, or whatever it is, talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you no longer hear that background noise because you're focused on something else. What have you done? That noise is still there objectively, but subjectively, your brain, which is so smart, has determined it's not necessary for you to pay attention to that sound, so it kind of blocks it out and you don't notice it. If you are a parent, if you've ever had kids that cry and whine and say, Daddy, I need this, Mommy, I need this, then you have experienced the power of tuning out your kids, where literally they'll be like, mom, dad, I've been asking you a question for 5 minutes. And you're like, dude, I didn't even hear you because I have tuned you out for my survival. Okay. So we have a brain that is not objective. Our ears are not objective. We don't know if what we're hearing is actually good because we can be so fixated on the thing we like. You bring someone else in the room or you share your song with somebody else remotely. I do this a lot. I'll send my mixes to one of my buddies. He'll send it back and say, dude, sounds great, but you know what? That guitar is really harsh. I'll be like, dude, I didn't even notice it. You get these instant wake up calls. And I like to think about it this way. If you've ever experienced playing a song of yours for a friend in real time, or you bring them into your home studio, or you're sitting in your car and you're like, hey, let me play this for you. While they're listening, just because they're in the car with you or in the room with you, it's like you notice all the flaws and imperfections that were always there, but you never quite noticed before. You're like, oh, that vocal, it's a little too loud. Don't worry about that. I'll probably adjust that. Oh, I know that bass is a little off. It's like your brain wakes up just because there's someone else there. Even if they don't say what you're hearing, you're more aware because of the insecurity and the pressure that, hey, whoa, are some flaws here. And this is all a good thing. You ultimately want the final result to be good. You want it to be better. So let's not allow ourselves to stay in isolation and fool ourselves into thinking that what we're doing is perfect or even close to perfect when we could bring even just one other person in or share it with someone else and find out instantly what could make it better. One of the guys on my team, Chris, reminded me of this. One of my absolute favorite artists of all time is Soundgarden, and specifically, I love Chris Cornell, lead singer of Soundgarden and Audio Slave, and as a solo artist in his own right. Chris is a phenomenal songwriter and a phenomenal guitar player, like not just chords, right? Like phenomenal guitar player, phenomenal singer, and a phenomenal performer. He is classic all the things, and yet he never started out as a solo artist. He always wanted to be in a band. And the band Soundgarden, when it got into its final form in the late 80s to 90s, when they had their heyday and were winning Grammys, were on the radio, Soundgarden has always been a collaborative band where the band members, and you can look up the liner notes in any of their albums, the band members all contribute songs to the records. And they each had a process where when they would come together for a record, hey, we're going to make a new album, everyone was supposed to show up to the studio with song ideas. It wasn't all just on Chris, the lead singer, to write all the songs. Although he writes a majority of them and is credited for the bulk of them, Kim Thale, the lead guitar player, wrote some of the coolest songs on like the album Down on the Upside. I love some of the songs he wrote there. He'll bring in ideas. Ben Shepherd, the bass player, wrote lyrics to a bunch of songs and they would build a song off of that, right? Matt Cameron, the drummer, wrote songs and he's the drummer because he can play guitar. These are all creative people and they all had to bring stuff to the table to make their albums what they were. And if you listen, if you love album concept instead of just like the singles on the radio, but for me, I'm a Soundgarden fanatic and I love every song and I listen to them. Some of my favorite songs never made it to the radio, but I think they're better than what's on the radio, which is very common, right? But they weren't even written by Chris. And Chris is like my musical hero, right? They were written by Matt Cameron, the drummer, or Ben Shepherd, or maybe Kim Thale. He wrote fewer of the songs as the guitar player. But the point is even one of the most creative singer-songwriter guys ever, Chris Cornell, who in a way didn't need anybody else because he could do it all himself, requested and thrived off of having other people in his group co-write with him, bring ideas to the table, and criticize his own ideas. Number 2 reason why you want to be in community is it's often the best way to fill in the gaps of your skill set is to have other people outside of you who are totally skilled in a unique, specific area that maybe you're not so skilled. So there's no way you and I are going to be the best at everything. And that's okay. But if you're like me, you like to do everything, right? I love to have my hands on all of it, and that's okay. So if you're like that, you might as well get better at the areas where you know you're not the strongest. And the best way to do that is to bring in other people who really kick butt in that area. And so I see this a lot inside of VIP, Recording Revolution VIP, my private community, where there'll be a member and she'll post a song and ask for feedback on her song. And the members who give feedback will say, hey, again, this is really good, but you know what? Here is some stuff I'm hearing on the vocal, and I would suggest you cut these certain frequencies or look around these frequencies and see if you could cut. It might clear up the vocal. And that can be really helpful for someone who understands EQ, understands compression a little bit because maybe they've watched some tutorials like mine and they have a working knowledge of it, but they haven't really mastered EQ. And then here's someone over here who's been mixing for about 5 to 10 years, really understands tone, can hear something and almost know the range of where the problem frequency is. And that person who's super skilled at EQ can speak into this girl who's got a great song and has done a pretty good job mixing, but isn't quite hearing the harsh frequencies in the vocal and instantly improve because they invited someone who's got some expertise in that skill area to speak into it. I see this a lot too when you've got singer-songwriters that want to play everything, and I'm guilty of this, where we have one primary instrument. So for me, it's guitar and singing. So I'm strong on guitar, rhythm guitar, not lead guitar. I can fake lead guitar, but I'm strong on guitar and I'm a strong vocalist. Now I play bass, but I get feedback from bass players a lot about, hey, this is a little too messy. You actually should go simpler here or try this pattern. And that can really speak into me and help me become a better bass player from someone who's that's their primary instrument. Same thing with drums. I've had to program drums for a couple of records. And the only way to program drums well is to not do it in isolation if you're not a drummer. I have to listen to really good drummers and study what they're doing, or sometimes send my tracks to someone who is a drummer and be like, hey, what do you think of these drums? And they can say, you know what? That drum fill isn't very realistic, or you're being too busy on this one pattern. And they have expertise in drums, and that can give me so much of a boost as I'm trying to fix the programming of my own drums. If you're noticing a pattern here, it takes humility to invite feedback from someone else. But you and I have gaps. And if you truly want to close that gap, find someone who's better than you in that one specific area. This is very, very easy to do inside of a group like my VIP, where you've got thousands of members and guaranteed one of them is going to be a killer drummer, one of them is going to be a killer vocalist, one of them is going to be killer at cello, one of them is going to be killer at EQ or mastering or whatever it is. And so you can find those people and get feedback. In fact, I see this inside of VIP where you've got the go-to members who are the most active, who are the most helpful, who are always diving in with a lot of the newer members and speaking in and giving them expertise and giving them wisdom. They love to do it because they know they're helping and they know they can take all that they know and give a little bit to somebody else, and then light bulbs go off. It's those light bulb moments where you're close, someone comes in, gives you a little bit of a suggestion, and then you're off to the races. You're just like, thank you so much. I got it from here now because you opened my eyes to an area I wasn't seeing. That's what community can do for you, is help you close those gaps in the areas where we're a little weaker. And third and final reason that we should be making music in community, and it sounds simple, it's just more fun to make music with other people than to make it by yourself. Since the dawn of music, people have been making music together. There is something magical about creating something in the moment when it was just live music and there was no way to record it. But even in the studio, working on crafting a song together with someone else, it's just more fun. I mean, think about how not fun it is to be doing your 10th mix revision of your song by yourself, no one to sit back with in the studio and share it with. I mean, one of the best memories I have, or some of the best memories I should say I have of being in a studio, because there was a lot of bad memories. And there's a reason why I went freelance early on when I was trying to do the studio route. When I was working in a studio, what I loved the most about it was the people in the room when we would be working on something and you'd have someone on a leather sofa, someone over here, someone behind the desk, and we're all in the room together and you create something cool and everyone goes, oh, yes, I love it. And we're just loving together in the moment that one thing that maybe we stumbled upon, or that one tone we finally got, or that one cool idea we wrote together, or even if we're just producing someone else's song where we got a great performance and we all shared it. Just like watching a TV show by yourself is fun, but watching with someone else who appreciates it too, there's that energy of, oh my gosh, did you just see what I just saw? And we're sharing it together. It's just more fun. And one of the silly but cool ways I see this inside of Recording Revolution VIP is I love seeing all the people sharing photos of their home studio. So we got members at like every kind of home studio setup. We've got people with racks and racks of expensive gear. We got people with super cheap setups with a laptop and a $100 microphone. But I love seeing people sharing their photos of like, hey, here's my home studio. Here's my home studio. It's just cool to kind of see into what everyone else is doing and what does their studio look like? What gear are they using? How do they arrange the furniture? Like, we love that kind of stuff. It just is fun. And then not only is it fun, when you are in a community, you have people that you can just celebrate with when you have breakthroughs or have success, whether it's small, like, hey, I wrote my first song or I released my first song. And if you have big success, like VIP member Aaron, who had his song Keep Dreaming go viral on Reverb Nation and become the #1 songwriter in Wales and a top 10 songwriter in the whole UK on Reverb Nation charts. And then with encouragement from the VIP members, he went ahead and further refined his mix and remixed it and then officially released it. And then outside of your home studio and success in your music, just having other people to share life with who have a similar point of view and a similar life experience as you is so valuable. Again, in VIP, there's an entire thread just dedicated to how the friendships and relationships that have been formed inside of VIP have changed each other's lives. I mean, how meta is that? But that's exactly what happens when you're in community, especially in a place like VIP, where you just get encouraged because it's lonely out there. It's hard to create art by yourself. Trust me, I've been doing it for years. And every time I collaborate or every time I invite feedback or share a success with somebody, it fuels me as opposed to just getting burned out or beat down by the monotony and the drudge of creating, because it is hard to create. In fact, at this very moment, I'm collaborating with my buddy Ill Factor, Grammy nominated producer and artist. We're working on a brand new EP together. We've done a couple of singles, and those singles have been some of the funnest music I've worked on, but we're finishing up an entire EP together that we co-write or co-writing together, co-recording, blending our styles, and we're feeding off of each other. Musical ideas, lyrical ideas, even vocal delivery. We're just feeding off each other and having fun and creating something better together than we would have independently. Now, I told you at the beginning, I want to give you some stuff, and I've been mentioning Recording Revolution VIP a lot in this video, and it's partly because I love this community and partly because I really want you to join. And to incentivize you to join, I want to give you 2 free months to come just check it out and be a part of the community for 60 days for free to see if you even like it. Inside VIP, you get access to this exclusive community members only forum that I've been talking about, but you also get many courses from industry pros. You get DAW tutorials on all the major DAWs. There's live monthly calls with me. There's challenges and prizes every month. It's a place that I've created to bring in all of musicians from all over the world that follow Recording Revolution into one place to encourage each other, inspire each other, get feedback on their music so they're not working alone, and have more fun and get better at this music making process. Now, like I said, this month is the 10-year anniversary of Recording Revolution, and I've been getting some amazing feedback from people like you on how my channel, Recording Revolution, has helped them in their musical journey over the years, and I'm blown away. Now, with all this love and amazing feedback I've been getting, I decided to sweeten the deal for you and give you even more. So on top of the 2 free months of Recording Revolution VIP that I want to give you, I want to give away 2 courses absolutely free to you to take and enjoy. The first course is called Rethink Your Room. It's an old course of mine, but it's an important one that teaches you how to set up the most important thing in your home studio, your room. Everything from how to place your desk in the room, where to place your speakers, how to set up a mixing sweet spot, how to maximize the recordings in your room that doesn't sound good, how to get your room to sound good without acoustic treatment if that's not an option for you. There are even bonus tips on how to get great sounding vocals in a room with bare walls and no acoustic treatment. And the best and most optimal place to set your studio monitors to get the best sound possible when you mix. I literally filmed myself setting up my home studio in a house 2 houses ago so you could see the process and actually see where I put things and how I set it up and why. It's a real beautiful course. It's to the point, very practical, and it's not boring, and it's gonna help you get your room sounding amazing. And the second course I'm giving away is my Take Back Your Studio training. This is an exclusive 3-hour recording of a live event I hosted a few years back where I dove deep into the myths and realities of gear recording and mixing. So it was an intense time of training, Q&A, giving you my best content ever. And as you can imagine, there are still so many home studio myths floating around there. And so I took an entire afternoon to dispel those and give you some of my best training, how to get the most out of your studio. Literally, take back your studio from the crappy recordings and the stupid myths that are getting you off track. Now, I know that there's a lot of great stuff here on my YouTube channel. I try to over deliver by just giving you great content every single week. But you can only go but so deep in a 15-minute video. That's why I did an entire 3-hour training called Take Back Your Studio, and it's going to be yours absolutely free if you take me up on this free Recording Revolution VIP offer today. So I don't think I can incentivize or sweeten the deal any more than this. I want to give you 2 free months to my exclusive private community Recording Revolution VIP with all of the content and Q&As and community and all that stuff that you get with that. 2 free months of that, plus 2 exclusive courses, Rethink Your Room and Take Back Your Studio, absolutely free. Just because I'm celebrating 10 years of Recording Revolution, and I want to say thank you for the support. And hey, it's Halloween the day I'm posting this, so consider it my treat to you. But this deal goes away at the end of October, so you kind of need to jump on it like right now. All the details are below, or you can go to recordingrevolution.com/VIP to figure out how to get in and get all your free goodies. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried out VIP, what are you waiting for? I can't make it any better for you. Come play around, come hang out with us, come enjoy yourself, get the knowledge, the community, the training, the feedback your music deserves, and do it for free for 2 months and see if it's a good fit for you. And either way, enjoy the courses that I want to give you as my gift to you. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking these videos. Thanks for supporting me, whether it's been just for a day, a year, or all 10 years that I've been putting out content. It means a ton, and I hope to see you inside of Recording Revolution VIP.
I believe that we live in one of the best times to make music.
This is for you. Listen.
It's one of the best times to be an independent artist, a mix engineer, a bedroom producer, because we have an advantage that 20 years ago people didn't have, and that's affordable gear, affordable microphones, interfaces, and we have the internet. Thanks to the internet, thanks to YouTube, 5 years ago I was able to find the resources that I needed to help me get started pretty much on how to make beats, how to mix, how to produce, what mastering is. One of those resources that I found on YouTube was the Recording Revolution, which has been one of the top channels for me to go to if I want to learn something new, where I have learned a lot actually. So Graham, thank you for being so helpful with the videos and all the resources that you've given us. Like the video about mixing in mono, that was a game changer. Like, I started practicing the mixing in mono technique, and it just changed my sound. It really improved the way I mix. So yeah, so thank you for all the years of learning. I've been watching you for 4 years now, and yeah, I look forward to your future videos, the future content, all the gems. And hopefully one day I get to work with you. So yeah, thank you.